Hey folks, Robert Hanna here. So you saw we're finishing up the last couple chickens of the day. Things tend to get a little competitive. I lost this one, so now I think I'm 1-2 on our chicken race. But we thought we'd take a minute here to just explain what we're doing of how we cut these birds up. This can be something that can actually save you a lot of money once you learn how to do it. It seems kind of intimidating up front of what do I do with this whole chicken? Well, once you learn how to do it and learn a couple little tricks, it's really quite simple. And you saw, I think she was under a minute to do a whole chicken. But even if you're just cutting it up for yourself at home, learning how to do this can really help you get a lot more use out of this bird and can save you a lot of money because you're not paying someone else to cut it up. So we're just going to walk through, show you how we cut it up, show you a couple little tricks, and hopefully that'll be helpful. So Hannah's going to start off, and then we'll go from there. So go ahead, babe.
First of all, I'm going to use my knife. So we like to start with the wings, and normally I have the wings on its breast against the cutting board, and we're not cutting through bone. We are finding the joints, and it's like we're doing a scooping motion. So I like to start with my wing, holding my wing out, and I'm going from the breast towards the back. And you are scooping to try to find that joint, and then you scoop underneath, and you try to get as much of the back meat as you can as you're scooping out. There's my first wing.
Nice. See how much meat she gets on that? You don't get meat like that down at B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. That's a good meaty wing right there.
Then I flip it over. I do the same thing on the other side. I'm going from the breast, scooping under, not cutting through bone, and I am scooping towards the back. Sometimes it's tricky. There we go. And then trying to get as much of that back meat as I can.
Nice.
All right.
As you can see, she's better at the wings than I am. I struggle with the wings. So, trick is finding those joints and cutting through those valleys. The legs, however, I'm pretty good at. So, when we go to cut the legs off, the first thing you're going to do is, again, remember, we're always cutting the valleys. And very rarely should we be really cutting too much meat. We're just separating muscle. So first, I'm going to cut this skin that's in between the chest cavity and the leg. So I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just cutting skin. I'm not cutting any meat, just the skin. Peel that back and open that leg up. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Open that up. By kind of supporting the chicken by the leg, the weight of it opens that up for me on its own. So I just cut right through there, just cutting the skin. Once I have that opened up, then I take and I separate both of these joints. So I dislocate that hip joint. So I'm going to find the crease and just spread those apart. You can hear it cracking. But I just want to pop out that leg joint, and you'll see it right in there. So once I have that, then it's very simple. I start at the back for both legs. I'm going to cut right along that crease that I just opened up. Again, suspending the chicken by its leg, and I'm finding that joint. I'm going to pop all the way. There it is. Right through that little separation, and then I can separate that very easily. Same thing on the other side. Make sure I can see that knob of that hip joint. You can see that right there. And I'm just starting right at the base of the spine. Cut through that separated joint. And again, just scooping through. Struggling. Just like that. There we go. Now, once we've got the leg off, we separate our thighs and drumsticks. So you can see there's a little line of fat right there in between the thigh meat and the drumstick. And so we're going to cut right there, right just on the drumstick side of that line. And we find that joint and cut through it. If you're cutting through bone, it's going to be hard, but you can feel that. You just separate the joint. Very simple. And we'll do that with both legs. I'm going to show how we take the breast off.
So then we finish up the whole bird with the breast. And we do boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So we, first of all, will separate this top layer of skin from the breast, and a lot of times I just normally take my knife and I just kind of separate the skin, cut those flaps there. And then what I like to do, I kind of hold it by the neck and start on the left side, and I'm cutting right to the left of the bone, and we're going down. Yep, there we go. You're trying to get as much of the meat as you can as you're cutting, and I'm kind of holding the breast so I can separate it easier, and then I'm just slowly trying to slide my knife down to get that breast off of there. And then we take the tenders out in the middle, and there's our breast.
That supporting the chicken by the piece of meat that you're trying to cut is a key detail. That will really help you find the seams where you need to cut. And it makes it a lot easier to get a clean cut and get all the meat that you want.
And there we go. Then you do the same thing on the other side.
Awesome.
And the tender.
And that leaves us with just the neck and back, which we can use then for soup stock or whatever else we want to use it. But all of our meat then nicely separated and ready for packaging. Thanks for watching. Hope that's helpful.